Do-do-do-do.
Welcome back for season 2 of Welcome to the Paddock. We are so excited for this upcoming season with so many exciting things planned. We have updated our new logo to include my name on it.
It's official, guys.
So this is my first episode officially as co-host. So now
We couldn't be more excited to have you, Aspen, just so you
I'm
know.
I am so excited. So now, if you guys haven't already seen from our Instagram post, we are super excited to announce our involvement in Lando Bash, presented by Dare to be Iconic and Delulu for Fast Cars. Now, Lando Bash is a celebration hosted by fans for fans in honor of the anniversary of Lando's first win here in Miami. And as we get closer to the event, we're going to share a lot more details about this event. So
Yep.
now,
Right now, we are just letting you know we are involved, and we're going to come back to you and give you more info as we get closer.
and what we can tell you for right now is this event will be in the area by turn 3 on Friday, May 2nd from 11 to 1. So make sure that is in your calendar. And just so the organizers Dare to be Iconic and Delulu for Fast Cars can have a head count of who's going to be there, we're going to put the link below for you to register. And we are looking forward to seeing everyone there.
It's going to be so exciting. We can't wait to see all of you guys in person.
So now you may be wondering where our episode for the start of the Indy car season from St. Pete is, but life happens, and with the timing of everything, this episode will be coming out in about 2 weeks because we still want to share our experiences with all of you.
Of course, like you can't predict when life comes at you, so we still want to share everything. So we are looking forward to still giving you the episode that we originally planned to come out last week.
Let's switch to talking about the Australian GP. Now, as we had last season on our episodes, we would do the fast lap. So, Lexi, are you ready to do the fast lap?
Fast lap recap. I don't think I'm ever prepared to do this, but we're gonna wing it as we normally do. We're gonna start off by saying the fastest lap was set by Lando, 1 minute 22.167 seconds. I feel like that's a little longer than I've had in the past, but not much. So we're gonna kick it off whenever you're ready.
I
You got a
am
timer?
ready.
Or do you want me to start it?
I have my timer ready if you're ready to start.
All right. Just stretch. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So race started before the race actually started. Isaac collided with the wall on the formation lap. So he hit some standing water on the track, slick surface, delayed the start. Jack crashed in the wall, did the same thing as Isaac. A little later in the lap, on lap 1, causing a safety car. Carlos crashed into the wall. Lap 2, during the safety car, because of an issue with when he shifts, there was a power surge. Don't want to go into that. Alonso crashed in lap 34, triggering another safety car. And then most teams had started on the inters. They went back to the inters later in the race when they predicted class 2 or class 3 rain in the following laps. Max and the Ferraris waited a little long, and I think that ruined their strategy. Lando and the McLarens were better, as we saw from the issues in Brazil, so they wanted to avoid that. Lap 44, both McLarens went off track. Lando was able to recover. Oscar, however, was not. Got stuck in the grass. Ended up having to reverse out of the grass. Home crowd went nuts when he recovered himself. Lap 44, not 44, 47. Liam and Gabby hit the wall. Third safety car. Lando was able to take the first win of the season. Max came very close at the end with the finish under a second behind him. George closed out the podium in P3. McLaren and Mercedes tied in the constructors right now, and Lando and Max's leading streak of leading the Drivers' Championship. We'll leave it at that.
1 minute 33.
Wow. I didn't even go over a lot. I was just the incidents.
Ferrari, we remember last season. They kind of disappointed us a little bit, but I think we're kind of off to a good start. One thing Ferrari
It's
did right. One thing Ferrari did right this race was the pit stops. They got a pit stop for 2.32 seconds to start the season.
That was officially the fastest pit stop of the race as well. So can't complain about that. You can complain about a lot of other things, but not that.
So our pit stop team crew may look great, but the rest of the team kind of looked like a disaster. We're getting water in the seat from Charles. We're getting sassy Charles to saying, let's add this to the words of wisdom, which is going to be my new favorite quote to use.
Let's add that to the words of wisdom.
So now, this is Lewis's first race with Ferrari. We finally get to see this man in red.
Yep.
And we feel that he was so used to his relationship with Bono that he probably went into the weekend thinking it was going to be a similar situation with Ricky. But it was definitely not. As we got another quote from the Ferrari boys, leave me to it, please, which is going to be what I use at work from now on.
Leave me to it.
Leave
I
me
think I
to
use
it.
that on a daily basis at this point.
And as we know, communication is key to have a great team, and there's clearly a barrier here that needs to be fixed before they're able to succeed.
Like Lewis was so in his relationship, so strong with Bono. Like they have been a team for so many years, but to automatically go to a new team, only having a few situations, not even an actual race situation with your race engineer, to get comfortable that quickly is not an easy thing to do. Which I get it. You're at the peak of motorsports, so you're gonna expect more, but you also have to understand you're still building a brand new relationship.
Correct.
So you're going to have pitfalls at the beginning, but ultimately it should get better from there. So fingers crossed for China for them.
Yes.
All right. So in the GP, we noticed, well, I personally have noticed a lot of fans online complaining about the whole McLaren situation and the radio messages that Oscar was getting. And I have to be honest, I don't get where the hate is coming from. Zach admitted at, before the race that they were allowing their drivers to race each other, which in drier conditions, go for it. But after what happened last season with all the controversy there, I think people are automatically assuming it's going to be that
Papaya
rules.
rules.
But we all saw that Oscar was given the radio message, you're good to race. But then shortly after that, he was given the order to hold position. We are coming up to the back markers. Well, basically, it's going to be like we'll reassess once we clear them because
Which
you have to
makes
think
sense.
exactly like you want both of your cars to finish. You don't want to cause an issue where, oh, one's going to finish, one's going to get stuck behind a back marker, one's going to get hit by a back marker because you're trying to race. Like, I'm sorry, that's not okay. But we have to understand people are most likely upset because of how the broadcasts are portraying it. Because when we heard the radio messages, Oscar had already cleared the back marker. But that message was from a few laps earlier when they were still clearing the back markers. So,
Correct.
like, I don't understand how people are mad about it when you don't have all the facts. Like, we're trying to have a safe race. We're trying to have both cars finish. Keep your head on straight. Obviously, with Oscar going off, didn't actually get a chance for the two to race each other, which
Correct.
would have been an incredible race, incredible
Would have been
finish.
beautiful.
But things happen, and we got the GP that we ended up having. So
Yeah. We're going to talk about the Helmut Marko comments towards Isaac. Now, I don't know if everybody has seen, but Helmut Marko has called Isaac embarrassing for crying after his crash. Now, I think we should all look to how Mr. Hamilton handled this situation for how we should be handling this. We were getting comments all last season from Helmut about Lando's mental health. But then we take these comments, and this man's not helping with our rookie's mental health by saying he's embarrassing for crying after his first race
he
of the
didn't even get to
season.
race. He crashed on the
Exactly.
formation lap. Like, this is the biggest, one of the biggest days of his life. And it
Exactly.
all goes up in smoke before he even gets a chance.
So at this point, he's not giving drivers the respect. So why should we?
Like, why? If he's not giving them respect, why should we give him any respect? Like,
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Helmet, it's time for you to shut your mouth and let someone else do the job.
Correct. There's a
Like, because
time in life when it gets too far.
exactly. Like, I'm sorry, you can't be ranking the rookies like that. You're calling Jack a C-rated driver before you've even seen him in an F1 car fully on track in a race environment. I'm sorry. That's not okay. And yet you were just praising Isaac before, and now you're calling him embarrassing. I'm
And this
sorry. That's
isn't
not
the
how this
first
works.
time Helmet has made these comments.
It's not, and that's a problem. Like, you think you're all high and mighty, but in fact, you're not. Like, stop. I'm going to put this in the best terms that I can. Stop being a dick. We already know the podium. Lando, Max, George. Simple as that. Probably could have predicted that based off of qualities. Or
But what we
predicted,
couldn't
or
have predicted,
was the next group. I'm sorry, but like Kimmy had the drive of his life.
and I
Starting P16 to go to P4.
personally, I love Driver of the Day and I love Lando. But at this point, Driver of the Day is becoming a popularity vote.
That's all it is. It's the fangirls who were like who all got in based off of Drive to Survive and memes and TikTok. And granted, I'm not discrediting how anyone got into the sport because we all have our own personal ways and we all have meaning to how we got here and why we are here in the first place.
But what we need to get from coming into the sport is what the sport is actually about.
Exactly. It's about the drivers in the cars and the combination of the two and not,
It's
oh,
not
because
about their life outside of
Lando
the
because
car.
I like how he looks.
And
No.
it's not about their life outside of the car. It's not about who they're dating.
That's not what driver of the day should be. It should be about the action on track. Which, granted, I'm not discounting Lando's race at all. Like he had an amazing race. He was able to basically hold the lead for a majority of the race
For what, like the
and
first
fight
time ever?
Max in the wet conditions. I'm sorry, that was incredible.
But when
But
you
when you
look
have
at Kimmy,
Kimmy, how is that not driver of the day?
you have a rookie going from P16 to P4.
Like, I'm sorry, that deserved driver of the day for me.
And then, as a Logan fan, this breaks my heart, but I love Alex. Alex keeping the Williams in points to finish P5.
I'm sorry. When we thought we were gonna have a Williams in the top five, we all thought it was gonna be Carlos. Let's be real.
Correct.
But to have Alex in there, I am obsessed. We all know how much I love Alex. My first mini
Oh,
helmet
we
was
do.
Alex. Alex was the first TikTok shop shirt I bought. Like,
And that shirt has been shared among the years.
It has.
And then let's move on to my Pookie, Lance.
Can
I
we just
know,
talk about how I was I was the original in our group who was the fan of Lance, and then he grew on you after I kept saying, "Hey, you should look at Lance. Look at what Lance is doing."
I think Lance gets a lot of hate that is not necessary.
Correct.
I think if anybody grew up in a sport and their dad had money, they would 100% be doing the same thing. And
Exactly.
nobody can say that they wouldn't.
Correct.
But let's give it up for Lance for finishing a clean race in the points at P6.
Like Lance P6. Did not expect to hear that in the first race of the year.
Now, did you think when that Aston Martin hit the wall, it was Lance?
Personally, I thought it was going to be it, and I was pleasantly surprised when it wasn't.
Me too.
Can we talk about how Nico finished P7 and basically said, "Screw you, Sauber from 2024. I'm just going to score more points than your entire season."
In one race.
Correct.
So let's move to talking about Oscar coming out of the trenches.
Mm.
I think all of our hearts dropped when the broadcast counted him as out.
Yeah.
But I think something that shows Oscar as a person and as a driver, he did not give up. He was
No.
not letting
He
anything
was so
stop him.
determined to finish his home race. And we all thought Oscar was going to be on the podium. Let's be real. Oscar had the pace, Oscar had the correct strategy.
Oscar could
Oscar
have
was going
potentially
to
won the
race.
race.
Exactly. He would have been the first Australian to win the Australian GP. And I would have been perfectly happy with that.
Me too.
But to see him rally from what was it at the end, P13 to P9
Yeah.
in the last few laps of the race,
But
incredible to see.
now I do want to talk about, I don't know if most people have seen this, when Oscar was fighting to come out of the trenches, Ollie was fighting to stay in the fight as well. He was, I believe, one turn away from Oscar when he spun around as well, but we didn't see any of that on the broadcast.
The broadcast is very selective of what they actually show. And can we talk about that real quick? How the broadcast had so many glitches with the timing screens not showing. Like, I didn't realize how reliant a lot of us were on seeing the gaps between the drivers until you don't have them.
Correct.
But I do, however, like the new icons that they have.
I agree with that. I don't like the square box. I miss the
Yeah.
rounded box.
Yeah. But it got to the point where I had like the live timing. I pulled up the live timings on my phone just so I could have that while I'm watching the TV.
See, I was like laying in bed on my phone watching the race.
I'm gonna be honest, I fell asleep.
How did you fall asleep during the race?
Uh, lap 12 to lap 30. So the boring part,
Hard.
not when like any of the crashes were happening or like the excitement or the rain coming down and everything going to haywire. Yeah, I was awake for all of that. But you also have to think, for us, the race was at midnight.
Just wait till
And
this weekend when the race is at.
China's not better. China's worse.
So now let's move to Tier
Tier
Talk.
talk. As you all know, this is our form of doing a random category or a ranking. And
Dance Mom.
this week, we want to do the Battle of the Rookies.
Do you want to go first?
I can go first. So this is kind of based off of more so based off of not just Australia, but like my feelings as a whole. And I'm
Is it
sorry,
though?
but Liam, You're on the bottom. It's Checo reincarnated at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, I went, this one hurt me. This one physically hurt me because I've been obsessed with this driver for 3 years now. I remember watching him in F2, and I was like, I can't wait to see him in when he finally gets his F1 seat. And Pookie in his home race, Jack Doohan, it was not doing okay. He was not doing okay. And I'm sorry, Jack, that you are here, but this is it has to happen. Next, I have Gabby. Granted, I feel like Gabby's performance to get into Q2, incredible to knock Kimmy out. But I also don't think during the race we really saw his full potential. So when we eventually do Battle of the Rookies later on in the season, because we'll probably do it halfway through the season
Yeah.
to see where they line up now. I'm assuming he'll be a little bit higher. But also based on the car he has, we kind of got to go with that. Mm, The next level of my pyramid, well, it's not the next level, it's the next step, is basically the father portion of the father-son duo with our honorary rookie, Fernando.
Woo.
We all know Fernando will forever be a rookie. It doesn't matter how long he's been racing. Fernando is a rookie. Kimmy acknowledged it. The entirety of the rookies acknowledged it. We all saw that round table with Laura. But I think with the car he has, he should be performing better.
I agree.
All right, the next one, we going up to the second level of my pyramid. I have Isaac, and I love my little Frenchman because he's also part of the shortest
No,
pair
I
of the driver
destroyed
group.
my car.
You could have recreated that. Oh, I love Isaac. He was very close in the battle for the F2 championship with Gabby last year, but I can't put you any higher, Isaac. But I know you are a very solid driver. We all saw he's here because of how he performed in FP1, FP2, FP3, and qualies.
Correct.
That's why he is there.
Correct.
The next is Ollie. We didn't get to see much, but I've always loved Ollie.
I little bear.
And I feel like I could have put him a little lower. I feel like I could have swapped him with Gabby. But I think it's just because Ollie is so personable and he came out of the situation that he had because we saw the Haas. The Haas was not good.
Correct.
And I feel like Ollie has so much more in him. And I've been seeing a lot of comparisons of the Lando Oscar situation, not Lando Oscar, Logan Oscar being the old version of Kimmy and Ollie. And I hate it because I don't want Ollie's F1 career to be over because Haas is a bad car. Like,
Yeah.
speaking of that, did you know Nico is the only driver who has left Haas and continued racing in F1?
Okay, King.
And then final, top step of the pyramid, the obvious answer, Kimi Antonelli. Kid has the brightest future right now of all the rookies. He also has probably the best car out of them, minus Isaac. Isaac has a great car. And we're going to go with keeping him at the top for now. All right, your turn.
So now, your reasons are kind of very similar to mine, so I'm gonna just run through my list. So at the bottom, I have Liam. Liam. That is all I can say.
Just Liam.
Then I have Jack. Then I have Fernando. Then I have Isaac. I really wanted to put Isaac higher. But I just think because we didn't get to see how he performed during the race, it wouldn't be fair to my next three.
Yep.
Gabby is my next. Then it's Ollie. And then obviously it has to be Kimmy.
Right. See, Helmet, that's how you respect the rookies. That's how you go. We love all our rookies, no matter their level of experience. So
Because although
take
while
note.
we're ranking them, it doesn't mean how we feel about them as a driver. We still respect every single one of them as a driver.
Correct. So in a world full of Helmet Marcos, be the Anthony Hamilton.
So now I think this is it for this episode.
Wow, we finally reached the end of our first episode of season 2. It's honestly, it's been a wild journey just to get to this point, and we've had our ups and downs, as any budding podcast or friendship or whatever has. But I am grateful for where we are at this moment, and I'm so excited for everything coming up. We all know we've been working on what? Merch, uh, enhancing our socials, doing events, things like that.
Speaking of enhancing our socials, we are currently in the process of working on a Discord server where we are looking for thoughts, ideas, which are the same thing. And we're also looking for like events and opinions and stuff that you guys would like to do.
Yep. Whether or not it's hosting a virtual watch party or a virtual watch along.
We would like you guys to follow us on our socials, TikTok, Insta, Threads. We are planning to be a lot more active in the future because I'm switching to a location at work that is closer to my house and I'm no longer preparing for the bar exam.
And I'm getting a new job that is fully remote. So I don't have to spend 2+ hours a day driving to and from work. So
Same
I
for
can use
me.
that time to enhance our socials and enhance the platform that we have.
And we want you guys to subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify.
I'm currently working on getting us up on Amazon and Apple as well. So we are covered on all platforms.
So don't forget to tune in next week for our Chinese GP episode and the start of the F1 Academy season. And it's
Lights
lights
out
out and away
and
we go.
away we go.